go. The last video I did, I had 200 milligrams of caffeine. As you know, that caffeine from the previous week was still inside my body and I was absolutely buzzing still 6-7 days in a row after that race. I've come into this race today absolutely wired from my last race. so yeah, this is actually one of my favorite races recently, maybe I've ever done, because we had a 7-man team today. We had Chan, Tom, myself, Gennady, Charles, Chris and our friend Simon. And actually, I've also got footage from Gennady's GoPro as well, which is awesome. So it should make up some good content today. You can see him there behind me. And it was actually his first race he's ever done. And now this is the Oxfordshire Road Race League. And it's a Cat 3-4 field, so fair play to him. Because normally you just go straight into a Cat 4 race. He's joined in with the Cat 3s. So if you think that's good work, like this video and don't forget to subscribe. Anyway, let's get deeper into the race. Now we're approaching 5 minutes into the race. There is a guy just going off the front there, but we're not too worried, we're quite a strong team. But there is a magnet and it is called a bollard and that guy hits it, and so does our teammate Charles in the rear cam. So we went down to 6 men after the first lap, which was a bit of a shame because we could have done with Charles in the peloton, but hey, accidents happen and it was just a shame that it was one of our own this time. I think he just got like a bad elbow from that, but after that it was well, I didn't actually realise Charles went down until the following lap and we saw him on the side of the road. But yeah, you can see it's just getting strung out a bit. That tends to happen after a crash. People try to go for it, but yeah, not ideal. Now we're 10 minutes in and we didn't really have had a substantial attack go from the peloton yet. So we were really up for that, but we just didn't want to be the first ones to do it because we wanted to use other people's draft and not necessarily be the instigator. But them 2 free riders there go and I'm on it straight away, and me and Chan stick together and we get on the wheels because we think this there's a nice little group of us in front making a good effort. So we come around this corner and you know what, it was a nice quick race today because it was absolutely no wind. There was like not even a headwind, tailwind, there was nothing. It was just a lovely day. Anyway, so we're coming up the final straight. I get onto Chan's wheel and he had said to me that he did want to try and get himself into a break in the first half of the race. Me, Chris, we're going to try and help with that. And we're coming up here, it's quite strung out behind us. So I think he elbows me through, I go through. As I'm about to go through, I kind of look behind and I can just kind of see that we've not really created a gap behind us, which was a bit of a shame. It's all kind of been like glued itself back together. But ideally, since we've been caught, I was kind of hoping that someone else in the team may counter over the top of that last effort whilst people are a little bit tired from that. But no, nothing really happened from there. So anyway, let's kick on. Now 14 minutes in and there was a little bit of a break trying to get away up the road, and our friend Tom is in it, our teammate Tom. And I'm thinking, well, if I try and get to the front of this like little peloton, I'll try and slow everyone down. But as we start coming around the corner, we end up gaining on them quite quickly. And I just kind of think to myself, oh, it's going to get brought back. You can see they're literally just at the end of the corner as I come around it. So yeah, but because Tom is in that little attack group there that tried to break away, I was thinking, right, I'm just going to try and go and counter Tom in this case. So I get on this guy's wheel. I pick up the power a little bit. As you can see down in the left, absolute massive power, and I start coming past these guys. And if you look back in the rear cam, I managed to make quite a nice little gap on everyone. Now there is one problem today, which I don't know if you've noticed yet, but my power readings are unbelievable. And it is down to that 200 milligrams of caffeine. Not really. The problem I had in this race was I did not calibrate my power meter, and it's been a bit iffy recently. I think it may have got water in it, I'm not 100% sure. So I am off the front doing 500 watts. Absolutely amazing. Anyway, there is a guy coming up behind me. I did not know he was on his way trying to bridge over. He made a strong effort to get up to me. I wasn't quite aware he was there. He comes through and I couldn't get onto his wheel. It's as simple as that. it kind of caught me out a tiny bit. So he was kind of gone, but I thought, hey, I looked behind and the peloton weren't far behind me. I knew I was going to get caught, but I thought the moment I get caught, fingers crossed, one of the boys goes, catches that guy down, and maybe even counters over the top of him as well to try and tire everyone out. You can see that guy there is quite in a good aero position, try and get past me, which he does. And I get caught, and I'm thinking, right, round this corner, one of our teammates will go. But as you can see around me, there's no Reading club mates anywhere close to me at the front of the peloton. So we start coming back down here. You can see Chris in the rear cam. He's making his way up to me. And well, obviously I don't have eyes on the back of my head, as handy as that would be. But as he comes down, I do say to him, once I realise he's there, go. Go, get out of here, counter, just make it harder. But he wasn't feeling very good today. He did warn us the day before that he was feeling a bit under the weather, so he didn't go here, I don't think. But yeah, absolutely useless. What can you do, eh? I'm only joking. There he is, out the saddle. Here he goes. He is gone. And another little counter to try and keep the pace of this race up. 29 mile an hour. He must be doing about, oh, God knows, 55 mile an hour. Who knows? But yeah, we were keeping the pace up, and this was actually ended up being my fastest race that I've done on this circuit. I think we averaged about 27 mile an hour. So yeah, he strung it out again. I don't think he managed to get away, but hey, it's another little effort that everyone had to do, and we had 7 of us, so we were quite happy if he didn't quite get away, because it just means that everyone else is just being made to work, and we can just keep taking it in turns and so on. As you can see, like when he made the effort, I'm not reacting, I'm just kind of resting up still and just trying to get on other people's wheels so they can bring me up, and so on. So yeah, now a couple of minutes after that, another attack went, but we didn't have any riders in it, so I was a bit like, oh no. So we come around this corner, but as I was thinking that, I heard a Condor rider saying, we've got no one up there. So I instantly knew to myself, oh, the Condor people are going to try and chase this down. If you remember the Condors, and you can see that little breakaway up there, and the pace picks right up. No one was happy with that breakaway going away. I don't know if there was any other big teams in it, because we had 7, we didn't have anyone, so we would have been happy to chase it down. And I don't believe the Condors had anyone, and I think they had a team of 7 as well. They had no one in it, so there was probably a potential of 14 happy riders to chase that break down. So as we start coming down here, but you can see we're doing 32 mile an hour, and there was no way we were allowing that to go. So that gets reeled in pretty quick. As you can see, it strings out, but the whole peloton reattached pretty fast to that. So as soon as that brake had been caught, I could sense on the left hand side a rider coming up. I'm like, go Chan, go, get on that wheel. And Chris goes out. Almost an accident, but luckily there wasn't. And yeah, another attack. And this time we had Chan and Tom potentially in that break that was trying to get away by the looks. So we come around here, and in my head I'm thinking to myself, right, as soon as I come around here, I'm just going to ease right off, try and let them boys have a bit of a gap to get away, and hopefully it'll slow down the peloton, or at least I'll just be in the way of everyone and make it harder for them to chase it down. So you can see here, people chasing me down. No, not chasing me down, just, swamping me, getting past me, and I'm just making sure I'm in the way of everyone. Unfortunately, that does get caught though, which was a shame. Anyway, about half a lap later, as you can see, it's the 25th minute now, I'm thinking, right, I'm going to attack again. So my turn this time, so I go off the front, put the power down, 1000 watts, which actually isn't 1000 watts, and I create another lovely gap on that peloton, get off the front, and I'm thinking, right, just keep going, and I get a nice free line around this bottom corner. So at this point I was thinking to myself, right, surely this is going to stick. I mean, we've had attack after attack so far. Maybe someone will join me and we can actually maybe get away. You can see in the rear view some guy bridging over to me, which I didn't notice at this point, but yeah, but I'm looking down and I'm thinking, oh, I feel okay here. And yeah, I think this was a guy from London Dynamo who catches up to me. But but yeah, I had a bit of confusion about me, and I wasn't sure. I thought maybe I'm just going hard. Maybe it's just the adrenaline rush from getting away in that break. London Dynamo goes up, up, up. Let's get on. I tried to get onto his wheel as quickly as I can, and that was a bit of a struggle there because I was pretty deep on my heart rate's 190. But I get onto his wheel, and as we're coming up here, I'm thinking to myself, I'm looking down, and I'm like, how am I doing 550 watts in his draft? I thought he must be doing 700 watts here. What an absolute animal. I'm sat on the wheel. I think I remember shouting at him like, you're doing 600 watts. I'm doing 600 watts in your draft. I can't come round you, mate. You need to calm down. And but obviously my head unit had got into my head here, and you can see the people behind us. It's strung out, but they're catching us up. I tried to go round him, and I think I did shout out, "I'm sorry, mate. I've got nothing." But I couldn't get past him. My head was gone. My heart rate was high, so what I was doing, I was really struggling with it being the first few races of the season. But maybe the head unit got into my head. I'm not too sure. But yeah, I follow him down here. We're going quite quick, 27. But I think on the previous laps, we had been doing above 30 down here. And I think the Peloton would have been doing maybe 31, 32. And then there's another guy that's bridged over. And I think to myself, oh, right, there's 3 of us. Maybe we can get away. But the Peloton are breathing down our neck. And I think... Yeah, it was just it was hard. I think that guy was feeling a bit too fresh after his first break from that group, and I think I'd looked around at this point, and yeah, we weren't getting anywhere here, so I think I used that. Now at this point in the race, it had been about 10-15 minutes since the last attack got caught, and it just kind of quietened down for a while. You can see a guy just hanging off the front there, but he wasn't really getting anywhere. And then Mike Cripps, the Army DS on the left-hand side, goes. And I just thought to myself, nah, it's just not going to go anywhere. So I think earlier in the race I would have been bang on chasing it down and go on. But I knew that this entire peloton was not letting anything go away today. And as you can see, people are on it straight away. And yeah, there was absolutely nothing going on in the way of getting any sort of break going. Because everyone was just bang on it, and I think it may have been because it's, the first round of the Oxfordshire Road Race Series and people were just hyper. But yeah, he got caught literally instantly. Anyway, with 3 laps to go, we come around the bottom corner and I hear carbon on the ground. Bang, another crash straight in front of me as always. And wow, absolute carnage. That guy on the left, he's on the way home. He's had enough. Guy on the orange helmet, he's thinking, oh, am I going to make it through them cones? Well, we'll find out in a sec. And I think there was about 2 or 3 bodies on the floor here. And it wasn't a nice scene. I think one of the Condor guys broke a collarbone. So again, get well to you soon, sir. Wishing you a speedy recovery. But yeah, God knows what happened on that corner, but it wasn't good. Somehow that guy in the orange helmet made it through that cone. Fair play. Now, with that happening, the race got stopped for about 10-15 minutes whilst they sorted out the riders that were on the road. So yeah, the race got restarted with 3 laps to go. So everyone's feeling fresh, recovered, 10-15 minute rest. Everyone's got cafe legs and all heavy legged, but it was predictable that someone was going to go straight away, in my opinion. And sure enough, someone on the right hand side has bombed it off, which is fair play to him. But I thought in my head everyone's going to chase that down. Now straight away below you can see Gennadi's not quite on the wheels, which becomes his undoing in this first lap of the last 3 laps, because he ends up getting dropped. So he didn't really end up in much draft. And hopefully he'll see this and be able to spot the mistake. But it's super important to glue onto the wheels. Anyway, the front of the race, it's all strung out. We're chasing back that guy who's trying to go for it. I'm near the front and I'm willing to chase it down because I'm thinking to myself, right, there's 7 of us in our team, well 6 of us remaining. 3 I'm happy to chase it. kill myself in order for the rest of the team to be fresh at the end. So we're coming up here, chasing that dude down. I come round these riders because it didn't really feel like they were really sticking much effort in it. No one's really committing to it. So I get on the front and try my hardest, and I'm hoping that people will help out here. Now it took a while, but eventually I get the help with, I think, a London Dynamo rider. I think they had a couple of racers in the race, happy to help chase. And I get straight back onto him because I just wasn't trusting anyone else to help out. So I get onto his wheel and hoping I can just stick in the effort. But Tom, the godsend, comes round me with Chris as well, I think. And as he comes round, I'm thinking, right, get onto his wheel. And I actually didn't want Tom to be doing any chasing at all. So I instantly come round him because I wanted to keep his legs fresh for the end. That guy there starts chasing it down. Chris is on my left. He comes through, and behind us you can see Chan as well. So we're getting quite organised here, and I'm hoping maybe we can get a chain gang going. But that London Dynamo guy, I think it is, there goes again, and Chan's on my wheel. And this is, I don't know whether this is an attack or a chase, but it was getting pretty hard work at this point. And you can see below Gennadi's off the back, unfortunately, so he got dropped. So yeah, a bit of a shame for that, but a fantastic first race for him, considering it was a free fall. Anyway, we caught down that Abingdon race team rider, just gone past him, and you can see that guy off the front. Now I think that's the actual, a guy called George Fox, who's a TT rider, and he is an absolute beast. Fair play to him. I think he's actually quite a high level TT rider, so it's unfortunate he's in this race. Because he seemed seriously strong, and quite possibly a lot stronger than the rest of us. Now you can see here we're coming into 2 laps to go, and it splits apart, and I'm thinking, what's going on here? And I look to my right behind me, and I can see there's a faster pace line, someone attacking, so I pick up it straight away. Chris and the team are on my left, so I leave them behind because I've picked up on this attack. I think it was Swindon Wheelers. And I just think I've got to join the faster pace here. I don't want to get left behind, and hopefully the rest of the team can get on my wheel, but it didn't really look like they did. But I wasn't prepared to be our lead out, for example, a whole group of us be stuck in the middle of the peloton with 2 laps to go. So I just used my initiative and went for it to try and attach myself onto these 2 riders, because I thought it's better to be one of us to be up here. And I may just say, what a fantastic pair of pink socks that rider has. Let's try and get a good view of it. We're going to get a good view. There they are. Look at them. Nice. Now I don't know if you can see him, but just at the top left hand, that guy is still off the front somehow. Absolute powerhouse. Guy on the right seems to be up for the chase to help chase him down, so I'm still pretty game at this point, selling my soul for the peloton here. I see that guy go, and I'm thinking, right, I really need to just try and hang on to the first few riders, and hope that the rest of the Reading Cycling Club can catch its way up to us. So if I could just stick near the front, I was sure that they'd find their way at some point. But the guy off the front, geez, absolute powerhouse. So we're coming into the last lap's coming up, but this is the final corner of the second lap to go, and another attack pings off, and I'm just like, oh my god. My heart rate's not too bad at this point, but I was really fatigued. So I'm thinking, right, I just need to keep the front riders still, and hopefully the boys can help me out in a bit. So I try and jump onto it as soon as I can. Stick on the wheels because these guys seem like they're chasing. That guy on the left peels off, and we're doing 30 mile an hour here, and it's it's exhausting just watching this back, actually, just attack after attack. We're coming up to the 1 lap to go point just here, bit of swerving which kind of happens sometimes, and then I think on the right hand side another attack begins to go again. And I kind of pick up the pace because I'm aware of it after like looking around on the last lap lookabout, and I'm thinking, right, I just need to get momentum to try and get onto these two. But them two are gone. They had a lot more momentum than I could muster up in my legs. But I'm doing 30 mile an hour here, trying to chase these two down now. And I know I'm dragging up the peloton, but I'm really just trying to make sure that my team can work up to the front of the peloton and join me, because I wanted to be a lead out on the last lap, on like the last downhill straight. That was kind of the plan I had in my head, in which I said to everyone, look, I'm willing to sell myself on the last lap for you. So for me, it was just a case of just trying to do what I said I would do. Really, I wasn't really too fussed about getting a top 10. You may think that's bizarre, but I just wanted 6 or 7, or 6 or as many of us as possible in the top 10, and I just wanted to be like maybe the first into the last corner, so that everyone else could get round me, because you know me, I'm a good man. But if you're looking at it, it's I'm fatigued now and I don't have anything left. So I used up my energy a corner too late, so it seems. So I'm getting swamped. People are coming by me now. It was one attack too many for me to try and hold on to the front. And yeah, I thought to myself, right, can I keep going? But I don't think there was anyone behind me. And I think I did say, coming down this bit, I thought, right, in my head, I thought I could give it one more shot. And I think I remember shouting, is anyone there? And I got no reply, so I just assumed that my team weren't about. Looking in the rear cam, you can't quite see them either. So, yeah, it kind of all went to pot on these last 3 laps. So, coming into the final corner, I am out of position, but you can see a couple of our riders are now coming up by me eventually. So, I think Chan is on my left here, directly on my left. So you can't quite see him in the footage at the moment. You've got Chris, you've got Tom behind me, and annoyingly at this point my front camera goes on the very last corner, so I'm only going to have rear cam footage any second now. I'm going for it, I'm giving it everything, and Tom comes round me, amazing, and he was there when it mattered, and so was Chan. How did we do? Tom came second in the league. For that round. Chan came 5th, amazing. I got 8th and Chris got 10th. So top 10 league points, which puts us first in the men's league after round 1. So amazing with that. Our girls did amazingly well as well, with Rebecca in 6th, Julia in 8th and Cleana in 10th. So amazing work, and they stand 4th in the league, which is great. Anyway, I have no power data to show you, so if you want to follow me on social media, Strava, Instagram, just type Michael Gray or Michael Gray Cycling and I should come up. And yeah, anyway, subscribe to the channel if you like this video, and I shall catch you soon.